swear, like, every debate I just want to run away more and more each time. Um, I had a bit of an argument with my mother. I keep accidentally talking about politics to her. And, you can't reason with a Republican. We were arguing about politics and stuff like that. Mostly stuff happening here. And the thing I've been noticing, she doesn't question anything. She calls me like gullible, not gullible. What's the word? She calls me naive, but she believes everything she hears when it's geared to her side. But I like to question things, and I question everything. She always tells me she wants me to be a politician because people remember my face more and I can talk well. But I tell her all the time I don't want to be a politician. And anyways, she knows that I have strong opinions on things, and yet despite telling me to be a politician because of all my opinions, she doesn't agree with any of them. Which there's no point for that. If I ran as any sort of candidacy and she didn't know me, she'd call me a radicalist, I'm sure. But this whole discussion, yada yada yada, status makes change. Like she thinks, like, the reason she doesn't question anything, she doesn't make real opinions, is because she doesn't think she can make a change. But no one makes a change when they know they're going to. People make a change when they have opinions. But people don't make opinions because they think they'll make a change. It happens when they fight for it after they realize they can. MLK did not strive his whole life to do that speech. He was able to fight for it after he realized he could. He didn't always know that was gonna happen. People don't know they're gonna make a change until it happens. But all these people had opinions already before they were able to make a change. That's the whole thing. That's why I have such strong beliefs on things. I struggle through things, and I have heavy beliefs on things because of it. And I genuinely try to fight for it, but I know people aren't gonna hear it. That doesn't mean I should stop, though. I still have things I believe, and I should still fight for them, no matter if people are gonna hear them or not. Even people who think they can make a change. You go to a rally or a protest, you have heavy beliefs and, like, very deep opinions about things. You're in the protest, you're in a crowd. No one's gonna hear you or what you have to say specifically. But still, it's like harmonica. I don't know why. It's like no matter if people can hear you or not, you can still fight for change in something if you try. No one that changes things or tries to change things knows if they will or not. I wouldn't trust as much a person who tries to fight for something if they haven't been through the same struggle or know what's going on. Because, like she said, you can only make change with, like, money and power. Those are the things she said was important. Money and power. But, like, a lot of these people didn't have that. Say, like, the radicalist, I wouldn't say that's a good term. Gavrilo Princip, the guy who assassinated Franz Ferdinand and started World War I because of it. He was doing it as, like, to, like, rebel and help the people of his country, because there were so many different ethnicities in a country only represented by two main ruling ones. So he was fighting for his people. He did not come from a good place, obviously. I know he was like 20 or something. Something around that, maybe, when he did it. But I swear, his living conditions clearly were not good. If I look at his mugshot, and he looks 18 at most. Genuinely, I first saw his mugshot. And I felt bad because he looked like a child. I thought he was just like taken in by a bunch of radicalists and told to do this thing that pretty much got him jailed, and he was supposed to be put on death sentence, but he died of disease before he could even get executed. You think he had status or money or power? He had none of that. It's a weird example to use. I just think a lot about Gavrilo Princip. I don't even have to look his name up anymore. That's how much I think about it. I don't know much about him. You always hear very little about him in like history classes. You probably don't even actually hear his name in classes anymore. But like, I think about this a lot. I don't know how, but our argument somehow shifted to like something that I've always thought about a lot and haven't really like fully talked about too much. I don't say much about it, but I never knew how to really describe it. Not until I had to pretty much come up with it on the spot and fully explain why I feel the way I feel to my mother. When I grow up, I don't want to be rich. I don't care for mass success. I don't want to be widely recognized or like a millionaire or a celebrity. The average person lives with a normal income, not in poverty, but they're not rich. They have enough to make an income and a living where things are okay for them. They can live well off of that. Way better living conditions than we get. People can spend like around 400 weekly on groceries or something, and that seems like a big number to me. And if we go just a little too much over 200 a week, we can't pay bills for the next week. That becomes a struggle afterwards. Of course I want to be out of that. Of course I hate being in poverty. But I don't want to be rich. I don't like those people because they never struggle. A lot of rich people now are people that were born into it and just were able to reach success without too much struggle. And so they don't know what it's like without it. I don't want to be rich because then it's like it denies my struggle. It's like it gets rid of the worth of what I've been through, and suddenly I don't have to struggle anymore. Just like that. So easily. I don't want to devalue what I went through. I want to go from the bottom to living just enough, living in a place where I can feel content. I don't need a place where I stay wealthy and I don't have to care about anything. What I want is like, I want to grow up and have a job where I'm having fun and have a good income. I don't want to be like a doctor or something, like being a doctor and working at a hospital all day, stuck there forever, not having fun. Getting home at night with just a few hours left to like make dinner and go to bed, and then that's it. I do nothing. I make a lot of money off of it. Like, I make a good living. But life is not worth living in itself. I want to live for living. I want to make it feel worth it and actually do what I want to do. She only ever had one goal in life. That was a long time ago, and it got crushed very quickly. So now she only really does things for gain and survival. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live money hungry. The rich stay money hungry, but they don't struggle for it. I don't want either sort of outcome. I know that, like, money can do this to people. She really likes capitalism. She always says she prefers capitalism over other things because she doesn't question where she's at. So she doesn't research anything else. She just knows what capitalism is because she lived through it. So she says it's better because she gets money and gets to do what she wants with it. She does not get good money off of capitalism. I don't know why she always says that. I don't like capitalism. It's horrible. Like a big thing about how I live. I I've started to finally voice to myself, just to myself, realizing I don't want to live poor. I don't like how it's at. For my whole life, I've never wanted to be rich and famous. Maybe famous so I'm not forgotten and it feels like everything's worth it, but now I don't care for that. Because, like, it doesn't matter if you're famous or not. Every famous person gets forgotten eventually. Like, I only want to be known by the people it matters to. I don't want to be world famous. I've never wanted to be rich. But I've never thought exactly where I want to be at. But I'm now realizing I don't like being poor. It's not fun living like this. There is a lot of struggle to it. But I could never properly articulate what was bad about being poor. Because when I live over here, I live normally. I live in this very colorful room off of things I've gotten for myself over the course of a very long time, and I like it in here. And I go downstairs. It doesn't look poor. You look closely at things. Things may look old. They may look cheap. But you just look at the whole thing. It looks normal. You see white, gold, simplified modern stuff everywhere. I can't articulate what it means to struggle because I just know the numbers. I know a skewed idea of the numbers. I see $200 and I think that is way too much for anything, for even a week. But everyone tells me $100 is not something to live off of weekly. But that's what I know. I can't articulate what it means to be here because she just acts like nothing's wrong. She says things are wrong, but she tries to act like it's not. She wants to be rich, so she buys things that make things just look rich. She spends like she's able to actually spend. We get things bought that are way too expensive. She saves up for these things, of course, and a lot of them can't be paid off immediately. But it's still too much in things we don't need. Just because when she's finally able to buy something, she does it because she finally feels like she can and like she's doing well when she gets these things. Our couch is working perfectly fine, even if it looked a little old. I'd had it since childhood, as long as I can remember. Since the first house we lived in, which I only lived in when I was like 1. I don't remember much about it at all. But I still remember those couches being there. I remember them being in every apartment we lived in. But she's getting rid of them because they're old and she doesn't want to feel like she's poor having to sleep on that or sit on that old couch. She just covers up everything that makes things look like struggle. But I don't want to ignore struggle. Because you don't live well when you just ignore what's going on. That's why it took me so long to realize I don't want to be poor. Because I didn't know what it was. I just knew I didn't like expensive stuff because it seemed soulless. I didn't know what it was like being poor despite living that way because I had nothing to go off of for it. I don't want to be a doctor or go to medical school. I was genuinely confused. I asked my mother, like, did you not expect me to have goals? Obviously, I don't want to be a doctor or a politician. I've told you this a lot. Did you not expect me to have goals when you told me constantly, all throughout childhood, go to school, don't drop out of high school, don't drop out of college, go to college, get an education so you get a good job. Don't work like I do. She never wanted me to have a job like hers, where she hardly got to even choose it. She's just stuck there. And we make just barely enough. She doesn't call it living. She calls it surviving. I thought that meant go to school to get a job you like, not a job you're forced into. She was entirely just going off of success and profit and gain for survival. She wanted me to get an education so I would get a fancy, high-paying job that you can only get from good education. I don't want to go to a med school, though. She genuinely held me up to the like, it was like, obviously, like, did you expect me to grow up and succeed, like become incredibly successful? There was a like, she genuinely thought that if she convinced me enough, I would just not have actual goals of what I want to do and aspire to become, and that I would just be going off of survival and profit. She thought she could genuinely like put me into such a thing and not care for this stuff. She genuinely did think to hold me up to a standard of being like world famous or like incredibly rich in the future. I've never wanted that. Like, if I do end up like homeless or struggling, I'm not gonna say I should have listened to my mother, because it would be from a path of my own choosing, from me doing something I thought was worth it. I'd still think like, hey, at least I wasn't money hungry. At least I was thinking about what I wanted to do. If I struggle, I can blame myself for my own decisions, but I can't blame myself for not listening to my mother. Because I'll go off of my own beliefs. I can blame myself for what I thought. I can't blame myself for what she should have done better for me. Or however I'd say this. Because I don't want things to be based off of what she thought. We don't have the same opinions at all. She thinks I disagree with her and everything because I want to disagree with her. I just don't believe the same things as her. We disagree on like pretty much everything.